Okay, look like we live in this thing, man. We live? We live yet? I think we live. Oh. Tell if we live or not. Let's see if we live. Not really telling me if we live or not. Let's see. Not go on this internet. Let's see. All right, we live. Bet. If we live. All right, bet. All right, let's get to these. Let's get to these reactions. Ain't nobody in here, but we gonna get these reactions popping. Let's start with the one on World Star. Where that one at? I don't know if y'all know, but ain't nobody in here. But I don't know if y'all know, but about the Jada and Will situation. I honestly think it's Will Smith's fault. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say it's Will's fault because Will do not have his house in order. If Will had his house in order, none of that shit would be. They loud as fuck in the background. Yeah, they loud as fuck. But yeah, if Will wasn't acting, if Will had his house in order, Jada wouldn't be acting how she acting. And if I don't even think she liked him to begin with. Yeah, but let's go. Let's watch this one real quick. Hey, stop yelling!
Jada.
All right, let's see what this video talking about.
We get it. There's a talent shortage, but you can stop doom scrolling. Paycor Smart Sourcing uncovers 67% more candidates and finds diverse talent traditional solutions miss. Paycor helps you retain people too by giving them career paths and a sense of purpose.
Jada's lying, and I have the timeline to prove it. And I'm literally in the middle of moving. That's why I look raggedy. But I cannot handle these fucking lies anymore. Jada is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour, and she is making all these wild claims, including that Tupac proposed to her while he was at Rikers. Really? The math isn't mathing, so let's take a look. Tupac was convicted of sexual assault charges on February 8th, 1995. From there, he was sent to Rikers Prison, only to be transferred less than a month later to Clinton Correctional Facility. And she specifically said she went to see him. This was not on the phone.
When I go to see him in Rikers, probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there.
Cool. So prior to going into Rikers, Tupac already had a girl.
When I heard that, I had a feeling she was woofing. I mean, just all the stuff going on, she woofing, bruh. She ain't no way she telling the truth about none of that. I mean, she probably telling the truth, but on the Tupac shit, she's just talking just to talk. And I believe that's Tupac's girlfriend right there.
Girlfriend named Keisha. He proposed to Keisha, her words, in a September 2011 interview. He proposed to Keisha before he even went into prison. They were already engaged. They got married in April. And in the time that he got sentenced and was taken to prison, Keisha actually moved.
So Jada tried to act like he proposed to her when that nigga was already married. That's crazy. If that's not crazy, all y'all that's defending her, something wrong with y'all. Like some is like really wrong with y'all. For y'all to defend all this bullshit and all the evidence adding up saying she full of shit, and y'all to keep defending her, something is mentally wrong with y'all. That's all I'm just saying.
Closer to be by him and be by the prison and saw him on a near daily basis.
When he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
So you're telling me that in the 3 to 4 week window that he was at Rikers engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day, Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was no angel. Fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during February of 1995, which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Will Smith was married, so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days between them, 1994, see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There's no way saying to yourself almost every day. Tupac proposed window that he was at Rikers engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day. Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was no angel. Fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during...
But that don't make no sense. I don't know. I never even heard of a nigga proposing twice. Niggas barely want to propose anyway. I don't think nigga propose twice. Like, what? That don't even make sense. Like, make that make sense. She lying. She is lying.
In February of 1995, which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Will Smith was married, so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days later, on February 19th, Will called Jada and said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yep." Will said, "We're together now." Jada said, "Cool." And she immediately flew to LA. She flew.
How do that work? How do that work? Y'all just, a nigga just call and say, "Hey, we together," and y'all just say y'all. That's why y'all relationship weird, cause y'all relationship kind of fake from the start. Motherfucker called you, said, "Hey, you single?" You said, "Yeah." "Oh, we together now." What? Like, well, how? How? Y'all ain't want on the date, nothing. I'm confused right now. I am definitely confused. Hopefully I get confused by that.
So immediately that when he called her, she was in Maryland at a brand new house she bought, and she never spent a single night in her new house. That's how immediately she flew to LA. Jada, when in all that time did you visit Tupac at Rikers and get this fucking proposal? And for the record, Keisha and Tupac stayed married for about 10 months. They got their marriage annulled about 4 or 5 months after Tupac was released from prison. He was bailed out by Suge Knight. It wasn't long after that he met Kidada Jones. Kidada Jones is the daughter of legendary Quincy Jones. But it looks a little recognizable.
That's the one from the movie. Yeah, that's the one from the movie. So yeah, I'm Jada lying.
You may know her sister, Rashida Jones, who played Karen on The Office. Kidada and Tupac were living together and engaged when Tupac was shot and killed. Kidada was the one that was there with him at the hospital the night he died. Kidada was handed his bloody clothes. She was the one who told him, "We all love you," before he slipped into a coma and never woke up. Keisha spoke with Tupac several days before he died, because even though their marriage was annulled, they still remained good friends. And I can't help but notice that all of the women who are actually part of his life in a meaningful way are the ones that have just kept quiet. They've kept silent. They've kept their memories to themselves and not tried to use a dead man as their limelight. And the person who's squawking about him the most is making claims that can't even be verified and don't make sense from the perspective of a verifiable timeline.
I see why we love you.
He needed a rock. Because of our friendship and because of everything we had been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation.
Because so many people in that position don't have support.
Right.
None at all.
None.
Crazy.
You know?
She is big time.
He did get the best, but not from Jada, because
I
for
don't
Will
even say
Smith's
cap,
own
but
words,
she capping.
that him and Jada were pretty much humping all over the world. They were traveling constantly from the first 3 months they were together, all over the world. So Tupac did get some great support, I imagine, from his wife, who moved closer to be with him and visited him every day. And why do I care? Because I'm Gen X. And like any good Gen X person, I grew up on Tupac. We all remember this going down. We all remember where we were when we heard that Tupac got shot or that he died. We all had this fucking hat from Poetic Justice, walking around looking like newsies, slinging newspaper about the Great Depression and FDR. And we're all just sitting here watching Jada spout these lies, being like, do you think no one remembers?
It's Will Fuck.
We all remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers, Jada.
He's just letting her do it.
Experience real Modern Warfare in the free online action game War Thunder, featuring tanks, aircraft.
Nah. See, that's what I'm saying is Will fault. It's Will fault. That's crazy. That's crazy. She did all that lying. This be the problem. She got the same problem politicians got. She act like the internet don't exist and people can't do research. You know what I'm saying? That be the same problem politicians be having, because they act like, oh, the internet don't exist. Well, they ain't gonna say that, but motherfucker, the internet exists. People can do research. People can look up the shit that you said in the past. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing that's happening with her right now. She act like people can't look up what happened in the past. See how easy she was able to put this video together by a few types in on Google to correspond with the fuck she was saying? Jada is crazy. But like I said, it's Will's fault, because the nigga don't get his house. He don't got his house in order. He do not have his house in order. Because if he did, none of this bullshit would be happening right now. But let's keep going. Let's look at some more Jada nonsense. Let's see. What else we got on the docket? Oh shit. What else we got on the docket? Well, I say, oh yeah, I want to watch that Stephen A. Smith one. Let me pull that up. Let's pull up the Stephen A. Smith joint.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got shape video masks. You can use different shapes to create completely different vibes and aesthetics. Or you can create your own graphic. I use the shape composition here. Just import any SVG file and set it as a shape mask. Nice. Next up, we'll keep it moving with the hover box. You can use it to animate any element and create these really eye-catching interactions. And what I love is that the level of control you get here is crazy.
Alright, hold on. Just in case. Let's play. Is that faster? Yeah, that's faster, I think.
Jada Pinkett Smith is making news. And she's making news because she's out on the media circuit, promoting her new book, Worthy.
Oh, this nigga talk kind of fast.
That's the title of her new book. We'll talk about that title a little bit later. Worthy.
What is she worthy of?
It's coming out October 17th.
Nothing right now.
And of course, in it, she's
She
dropping a
used to be
few
worthy, but
bombshells.
now
Of
it's
course,
like,
former
she
Red Table
tripping.
Talk host reveals that she and Will Smith have been
Shit.
living completely separate lives since 2016. That's over 7 years ago. And at this moment, the two of them are still legally married.
So that makes me think. I don't know if they doing this for publicity or what, but that'll make you think they doing this shit for publicity. But I don't know no grown ass man just gonna let his wife go out there and I don't know nobody that's just gonna get publicly embarrassed like this and not say nothing about it. I that's the part that's got me appalled. And I don't even know no nigga's name Paul. Man, shit weird out
But
here.
are no longer romantically together and haven't been for a very, very long time.
I could see that. She seemed
on a relationship.
She seemed like one of them females that'll hold the pussy hostage. She seemed like one of them that'll hold the box hostage. Cause I don't know.
Ship's demise, she says, wide fractured. That's a lot of things. By the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted.
Exhausted from you not shutting the fuck up? He probably wants you to shut the fuck up, and you wouldn't shut the fuck up. That was probably what you was exhausted from. Why's my shit doing this, bro? Come on, bro. All right, play. Fucking World Star play, but this bullshit ain't playing.
With trying, I think we were both kind of just still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
What does that mean?
But they didn't get divorced because she said I made a promise that there would never be a reason for us to get a divorce when they first got married. You know, they've been married since 1997. She said we will work through whatever. I just haven't been able to break that promise. Of course, knowing that her husband slapped the living shit out of Chris Rock on national television, global television, because the Oscars were watched everywhere. She had to bring up Chris Rock, of course.
Of course she did.
And instead, did we hear an apology? Did we hear anything? No, we haven't heard that. What we heard was that she originally thought Will slapping
what he finna say?
And Chris Rock at the Oscars was a skit. That it wasn't.
No, she didn't. She lying. She thought that was a skit. I'm done. Ain't no way she done. Ain't she lying, bruh. Ain't no way she thought that was a skit. I'm calling cap. She thought that was a skit. Man, get your lying ass out of here. She out here selling wolf tickets with her lying ass. I mean, a lot of people thought it was a skit. I know goddamn well she ain't think it was no skit. How the fuck she thought that was a skit? This bitch is crazy.
Real. She didn't know it was real when she saw Chris Rock's face do damn near 180. When she saw her man's imprints on his left jaw, she thought it was a skit. When she heard that loud ass slap and the audience be aghast. Oh, no.
Aghast.
She thought it was a skit.
Hello, word.
I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit. And of course, last but not least, she had to drop dime, as they say, on Chris Rock, claiming he asked her out for a date. He asked her out on a date, explaining, I think every summer all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce. This particular summer, Chris, he thought that we were getting a divorce. So he called me and basically was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris, those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized, and that was that. I'm qualified to have this conversation. I did write a memoir. Straight Shooter. A memoir of second chances and first takes. New York Times bestseller. By the way, once you're a New York Times bestseller, you are one forever. That is the creme de la creme of being an author. And I am a New York Times bestseller. So I kind of understand. Not the subject that I'm at right now.
That's what you understand?
You see, I have to confess to you that being a Christian, loving God, certainly not fully enmeshed in spirituality the way that I should be. I'm a spiritual individual. I pray every morning. I pray every night. I know there's a higher being, that there's a heavenly Father watching over me. But let's just say I'm trying to get to where he wants me to go. I'm just not there yet. But when it comes to forgiveness, I'm usually that dude.
That nigga on the green screen.
People cross me, don't even have to apologize. They just can come up to me and say, hey, man, can we just squash this? Let bygones be bygones. I'm good, man. Peace is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Ain't no reason to have all this animosity towards everybody and all this other stuff. Really no need for it.
When you're older, you definitely just want peace. You be like, bro, I don't want to deal with that shit. I'm not trying to deal with none of this bullshit. Can I just get some peace, please? Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Say this. It's pretty hard for me to forgive Will Smith. It's not my place. My forgiveness doesn't matter, as does most of ours. Here's what I mean. And if Will Smith is listening, I hope he hears me when I say this.
You a hoe, nigga.
Will Smith, we know you're a good brother. Your body of work speaks for itself, not just as an actor, an artist, etc., but as a humanitarian. Your heart's in the right place. We know that. And to engage in condemnation about Will Smith as a person into perpetuity would be wrong and cruel. But what I think you have to respect, Will Smith, is that it's pretty hard for any black man, any black person, but especially any black man. And I'm not saying that white folks shouldn't be appalled either, like Jim Carrey spoke out against them along with various others. And I agree with Jim Carrey. I might have had him arrested. I wouldn't have had him arrested. I would have tried to whip his ass. But somebody else, I can understand how they would have wanted to have him arrested. They definitely would have sued him for $hundreds of millions. I get that. Me personally, I would have.
That nigga cat, I don't know. Stephen A. Smith might got the left, right, the 1-2 haymaker knock a nigga out. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that nigga can't fight. I ain't gonna judge that nigga like he can't fight. I don't know.
Tried to handle it differently, just in terms of an initial instantaneous reaction. But I would say this, Will Smith, you slapped a black man on national television. A man that's 50, 60 pounds lighter than you. I don't believe you would have done that to 50 Cent. I don't believe you would have done that to Michael J. White. I don't believe you would have done that to Snoop Dogg. I don't believe you would have done that to Dwayne Rock Johnson. And I don't believe you would have done it to anyone white.
But we know this already.
I don't believe it.
We know this.
You did it to him. And let's analyze for a second the damage that Will Smith did to himself and to his name. How about the fact that Will Packer was the first black man to produce the Oscars, the Academy Awards? And that was the moment we all walked away with. As tremendous of a job as he did, you stole that moment from him. You stole that moment from him. How about you stole it or you compromised the great Antoine Fuqua?
Who is that?
He did direct and produce Emancipation. I believe we'd have been back up on that stage celebrating Will Smith potentially winning back-to-back Oscars for his performance in Emancipation.
Nobody watched that shit.
Because he was tremendous in that. But we couldn't celebrate him. Because fools in Hollywood stood up and gave him a standing ovation when he finally was rewarded with the Oscars minutes after slapping Chris Rock on national television. And to sit up there and say you reached out to Chris Rock and when he's ready to talk, come on, bro. It requires more due diligence than that. It really, really does. But having said all of that, let me tell y'all what Will Smith does not deserve. He does not deserve what Jada Pinkett Smith has done to him.
Yeah.
Now, I know people very, very...
It's his fault. Because if he ain't going to say something, you know what I'm saying? If he not going to defend himself, then how can we defend him? How can we defend him? I mean, if he not going, I mean, this is content, but I'm gonna talk about this shit anyway. But if he ain't gonna defend himself, I can't be too mad at her, cause this nigga ain't saying nothing. This nigga won't say nothing. This nigga like Colin Kaepernick after he took a knee. Nigga won't say nothing. Where is this nigga? This nigga still recording Emancipation or something? Where is Will Smith? Can we get an APB out on Will Smith? I ain't seen that nigga since he apologized. Since he made that apology video, that's the last time I seen Will Smith. I think, can we get an APB out on Will Smith? Because this nigga ain't said nothing. He ain't fucking posted nothing. Where is this nigga? I mean, he might post something on Instagram, but where is Will Smith? Somebody please find this nigga. She probably got that nigga locked away, tied in the closet or something. Come on, nigga, you better not say nothing, nigga. You better not say nothing, nigga. Tupac wouldn't have said nothing, nigga. You better let me promote my book, nigga. She wore the pants. She got the balls.
And I am not going to utter a disrespectful word about her. That's not where I'm going. It's deeper than that. There are a few questions that Jada Pinkett Smith deserves to be asked to her. Where's your compassion?
She ain't got none because she don't like that.
Where's your decency?
She don't got none because she
Where is your
really
respect
love that nigga
for a man you still acknowledge is your husband?
She said it.
Where is the respect for a man you walked down the aisle with and pledged your life to in 1997? For better or worse, through rich, through poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part. It wasn't just talking about staying married. It talked about honoring those vows, at least to some degree.
She don't honor those vows.
Where's all that?
She don't honor them vows.
Stephen A., what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Well, let us count the ways. Jada Pinkett Smith. What's the dude's name? August? What the hell is his name? I don't know who he is. I know he was the friend of your son, who's 21 years younger than you.
She took it.
What you do is your business. Any women out there that wants to be a cougar?
She took advantage of that nigga. And the worst part about it is, if that was a man taking advantage of a grown woman because August Alsina is grown. If that was a older man, 20 years older, doing the same thing, they would have been giving that nigga all type of flack, especially if he famous. They would have been dragging that nigga, cause she said he came to her sick and emotionally whatever. He had mental health issues, and she used that and fucked him. Like, come on now. Imagine if Will Smith, Willow. Well, imagine if Willow had a friend who had mental problems, and Will Smith took advantage of that and fucked her. Y'all would have been dragging that nigga. They would have been dragging this nigga through TMZ, CNN, ABC. They'd be like, men take advantage of younger women who are emotionally, who is having mental health problems. Like, come on now. They would have. They would have.
With a dude of legal age, that is your business. But the operative words are your business. Did you have to go and tell everybody? Go ahead and do it. Why everybody had to know?
Wanted to.
Why? Why did everybody have to know? You didn't tell them what you did when you were doing it. You didn't give them those details.
She finna tell.
Well, no porn movie.
Details in her weak ass book.
Well, no X-rated movie. It was nothing. Why? Because it's none of our business. So why talk about it? Keep it to yourself. And you keep it to yourself, not just because it's yourself, but because it's a man who loves you, who married you.
Love him.
He deserve that?
She don't love
Seriously,
him.
he deserve that?
It's his fault.
Somebody got to say it to Jada, plain and simple.
He fucking with a girl that don't love him.
Go to the Torah, go to the Bible, go to the Holy Quran, pick whatever you want. Let's talk about the role of a wife. At least from the perspective of just sparing him. I'm not getting in the right or wrongs, it's none of my business. I don't know about them, I don't want to know. But I know that it is uncomfortable and grotesquely unfair to emasculate your husband publicly.
Yeah,
publicly.
Yeah,
he's Will Smith.
But
how much smaller do you want to make him?
It's his fault. He won't say nothing. He will not say nothing. If this nigga just say something, like say something, bro. Say hi, nigga. Say I'm still alive. Say something, bro. Instead of that red table talk bullshit that she drug you on, looking like a goofball. Yeah, she, man.
How much? He deserve that? Will Smith, I'm not disrespecting your wife. Jada Pinkett, I'm not disrespecting you. I swear to you, I'm not. I'm just asking a question because you let us into your business. Why? Why? Will Smith is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And I looked up this credit. Let me tell you something right now, because Jada Pinkett Smith, I got a problem with you in this regard. You don't appreciate yourself enough. Madagascar 1, 2, and 3. By the way, you were in those movies with Chris Rock, by the way. Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions. You were great in Collateral. Loved you in the Inkwell. Oh, Girls Trip was off the chain. Oh, it's off the chain. I love that movie. You, Latifah. Oh, my Lord. And Regina Hall, it's a sore spot for that woman. It's a sore spot for that woman. I love me some Regina Hall and her beautiful self. I mean, come on. I'm just looking at it right now, and I'm just saying to myself, what's up? Help me out. Help me understand.
You don't like this nigga.
How could you do this? I'm just wondering. Let me not forget Tiffany Haddish, by the way. I apologize, Tiffany. Keep doing your thing, girl. You make me more and more proud every day. And by the way, when I met you years ago, I'm sorry if I was a bit, distant or whatever, but I was focused on fatherhood. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, I had to
like this nigga. It seemed like she despised this nigga. It seemed like she despised this nigga so much because she couldn't have Tupac, and she is regretting, like, man, I could have had Tupac. But you couldn't have. Because in the last video we watched, Tupac was married. You know what I'm saying? Tupac wasn't feeling you treating Will. I think the way Tupac wouldn't have did no shit like this because this is corny behavior, but you kind of treating Will the way I can't say that because Tupac never did this to you. But how do I put this? You love Tupac. And he just liked you. Will love you, and you fucking despise that nigga. You don't like that nigga. You despise that nigga because even if you liked him, you still wouldn't be doing this. You know what I'm saying? But you are because you despise him.
has some stuff to deal with, but I know you're a wonderful actress and comedian, and I wish you nothing but the best, but I digress. Jada, what's it going to take? You went on Red Table Talk talking about an entanglement. Why? If I remember correctly, you once said that you didn't enjoy making love to your husband anymore. Why?
Huh?
Why?
Oh, wow.
If you're getting your groove on with somebody else and you're fulfilled, why worry about what he's not doing? If you have been separated for 7 years, why talk about what you think or what he did do? You were separated, right? Why? Why? He's Will Smith. By the way, Will, I just finished watching Focus the other day. Love that movie again with you and Margot Robbie. I love that movie. I can't even tell you how many times I watched Hitch. Because Eva Mendes, Lord have mercy. Oh my God, I've been trying not to get straight. I'm trying not to get straight.
Stephen A. Smith, horny.
I'm just looking at a whole bunch of stuff.
Horny ass nigga.
This is Will Smith. I, Robot. I've seen it about 20 times.
All right, bro. You talk about this fucking movie.
Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3. Loved 1 and 2. A little bit more than 3. But loved all 3 of them. But more 1 and 2 especially. This is a superstar. An iconic figure in Hollywood. A box office attraction. But you ain't no slouch, Jada. You can act. You're gifted. You're intelligent. You're smart. We know what you bring to the table. You were fabulous in Girls Trip. My favorite scene was when you and Tiff were going up against the other sorority girls and jamming the way y'all were jamming in the club. Go ahead, girl. We got love for you. At least we once did.
Yeah.
Because as a man,
fuck with her no more.
Ladies, let Stephen A. break it down to you. I know I'm not married and all this other stuff. It's because I don't want to be yet, damn it. I don't want to be yet. I'm getting there. One day. Maybe sooner than later. Maybe not. Don't know. We'll see. But women ain't no problem. I'm fine. Stop worrying about what other people's status is and listen to wisdom when it's being dropped on you. You cannot emasculate your man and think things are going to work out. Not only are they not going to work out with him, but if you do it publicly, it's going to send a message to every man. That's what she would do to me.
I don't even think they live together at this point.
Why would you do that? You want to mess with some dude that's your son's friend, as trifling as that may seem in people's eyes, that's your damn business. You want to break up with your husband and all of this stuff, that's your business. But this public emasculation needs to stop. Jada, all you're doing is elevating the level of vitriol coming your way because it don't matter what you say. There's nothing you can say to a man to justify what you have done to Will Smith. Nothing. Now, Will come to your defense. As he should. He's your husband. And he loves you dearly. And it's not for me to judge.
Oh, this nigga bet not. This nigga Will Smith bet not. Hell nah, nigga. Hell nah, nigga. I'd never watch a Will Smith movie ever again if he do this bullshit. If he come to her defense. He bet not. I wouldn't watch none of them fucking movies he in. I wouldn't watch Fresh Prince. I wouldn't watch none of his shit if he did some shit like that. If he come to her defense, I'm not watching none of his shit ever again. Fuck that. If he do that and I walk in the room, somebody watching some Will Smith shit, I'm walking out. Fuck no.
Anything about y'all life, y'all private life, but I damn sure can judge him for slapping Chris Rock. I damn sure could say he lucky he wasn't just roaming the streets after that ordeal transpired. Because I'm here to tell you right now, there was brothers everywhere that wanted to get their hands on Will because it was so disrespectful. You wouldn't have done that to Ricky Gervais. You wouldn't have done that to Bill Maher. You wouldn't have done that to a lot of these cats. We know it. You know better. But even then, we can't help but rewind the clock to the greatness that Will Smith has put on display for decades and the contribution he has made.
People like to give people a pass that they like. If they don't like you, you ain't got no pass. But if people like you, they'll definitely give you a pass for some bullshit you did. No matter what. I can't say no matter what it is, but a lot of shit people let go because you gave them an emotional time in their life or emotional feeling in their life. But yeah, I digress.
To our community with his greatness in Hollywood. I met Will Smith when the movie Concussions was coming out. It's the only time I ever interviewed him. It was an honor. And I'm thankful for all that he has done. I'm not throwing any shade or disrespect on him whatsoever. But he was wrong to do what he did to Chris Rock, period. And you shouldn't rest. You shouldn't have a sleepless night until you get face to face with that man and apologize to him. Now, Chris Rock doesn't tell me everything. I am personal friends with Chris Rock, and I'm telling you, he ain't never told me Will Smith did that. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know, because I ain't asked. But he was wrong. And if there was ever a moment in time where Will Smith deserved his ass kicked, it was that night. But having said that night, you automatically transition to a compassionate prose when it comes to Jada Pinkett Smith, because what she has done to him, it's exceeded cruelty. Somebody got to say it. I mean, damn. Come on, Jada. This is wrong. You can't do this. You can't treat that man like that. It's none of our business.
She can and she.
You screwing somebody, that's your business. Your husband ain't getting it done for you, that's your business. He with somebody else, you with somebody else, that's your business. You ain't got to be like that. Especially while you still married to him. Get a divorce, give up the money. Got a prenup? Don't take anything from him. You got skills. You got a career. It ain't his.
Got a prenup.
But how much do you need? Anything to get this to stop. Every time I see Jada Pinkett Smith talk about Will Smith, I cringe. And I have nightmares for any and every single man out there who once had a loving woman they pledged their life to, only to turn around and to watch them talk about you in a fashion that can only shrivel you to this.
That's harsh.
We kings. We kings.
Will Smith acting like a
we ain't here to be treated like that. You're queens and you shouldn't be treated like that either. And I get that. And there's a responsibility that comes along with marriage and marital vows. And I understand. But even when they're not honored, even when they fall apart, that's supposed to be for you to handle privately. Tell me anywhere, biblically, scripture-wise, in any scripture, where it encourages you to publicize your personal business for profit when it negatively affects your spouse. As my man Joe Madison says, I'm gonna put it where the goats can get it. Jada Pinkett Smith, that's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Seriously.
I swear I thought he said
you should stop.
I swear I thought that nigga.
Because every time you do that, it instills a level of fear in men that makes them think, what if my woman does that? What if I get married and my wife turns on me and she does that? I've watched Red Table Talk on many occasions for years. You've empowered women.
Fuck, I'm out. You ain't finna do this to me. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You ain't finna publicly embarrass me, and I'm not finna say nothing. You gonna keep doing it. I'm out. Nah. Fuck Stephen A. Smith.
You've inspired women. You've talked about deep subjects that were a contributing force to women that helped make them better and make us better as men because it gave us a greater understanding of what you women go through. You're throwing all of that away because all we see now is a woman who seems hell-bent on sabotaging, excoriating, and emasculating her man while she's making money off of it.
She think that weak ass book.
Keep it up, and some people gonna sit up there and say, you ain't staying with him because you don't want to get divorced because of a promise. You stand with him because as long as your last name is Smith, as in Mrs. Will Smith, that's how you get paid. I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm saying that's the perception. And you can't get mad at perceptions at this moment in time when you allow the perceptions to be put out there about Will Smith. A lot of us stopped being a fan of Will Smith, at least momentarily, because of what he did. But we'll get over it because he's too phenomenal and too great, and we love him.
I mean,
we just hate what he did.
If he forgive her, or if he come to
that was a one-time incident with him. You've been doing this to him for years.
Another chance.
Come on, Jada.
Fuck that. Nope.
Come on.
Nope.
Let's sit down for a coffee date.
I ain't finna be one of them niggas. I ain't one of them niggas. You finna get me emotionally invested and then act like she ain't do shit. Not me, nigga. Not I, nigga. I'll tell your ass that right now, boy. Let's see. Let's go watch her interview. Let's go watch her interview. This interview right here? That interview. How long is that bitch? I wasn't sure watch no fucking hour on it. Alright, let's see where she was talking about the status of the relationship.
We're back. It is 8:14 with Jada Pinkett Smith. Our wide-ranging, revealing conversation made a lot of headlines. We talked about her journey from the streets of Baltimore to the heights of Hollywood, that incident at the Oscar, her battle with severe depression, her relationship with Will Smith, and after all of it, Jada says she's finally feeling worthy. That's the title of her new book. It's out tomorrow. It's an incredible read. It's packed.
At this point, I don't think she's been depressed. I think she's just using that shit. A lot of people use this mental health shit just to get views. Like, a lot of people do that shit just so they can get views. And you know what? I'm through with that. You can't keep using that mental health shit to get not views, but to make money off it, make people feel sympathy, to get away with the bullshit you do. Like, nah, that oh wow, that nigga threw a pick. Is that a pick? I'm tripping. I got the game on in the background. But yeah, a lot of people use that mental health shit to justify the bullshit they do, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this fake ass mental health fair where everybody got mental problems. Nah, you niggas is just hoes. A lot of people just hoes and weak minded and need to suck it up. But she doing this shit for money at this point. It's sympathy.
With so much. So glad to see you
I'm
again.
glad to see you.
So after we had our long sit down, this is stuff you've been carrying with you for many, many, many years, and it's out there.
Yeah.
So as we sit here today in a reflection of, was it the right thing to reveal, to talk about everything? Do you feel like you made the right choice?
Absolutely. I think at some point, I had to talk about my journey.
No, you didn't.
And I think just like we were talking about, I think
you did not have to. No, she didn't. She famous. No, she didn't. She did not have to talk about her journey. She did not. I repeat, she did not have to talk about any of this stuff.
So many of us who, hold so much, specifically women, and feeling like we're going to be criticized, we're going to be judged, you can't say anything. And the beautiful part about it is like this whole journey, as difficult as it's been, has just brought Will and I closer in such an authentic way. Instead of trying to be a thing, it's like just tearing all that down and finding what's true between us.
Wow.
And it's been beautiful. It's been difficult.
It's been difficult.
But beautiful.
Because one thing people were really still concerned about or confused about really was, okay, hang on. They've been divorced in theory, but not on paper.
Yes.
They were not together, but kind of pretended they were together. So I had trouble articulating exactly why that was. So now that you've had more time, why was that?
We really needed time to get solidified because at the end of the day, Will and I love each other. We had to really figure out what we wanted before we went into the world to say what was going on, because we were in such, we were just kind of in this very fragile place. And so now we're just super solid. Yeah. And so now I can actually talk about what the journey has been.
So Will talked to the New York Times or gave a statement, and this is what he says. We'll put it up on the screen. This is from the Times itself. The memoir, Will Smith said in an email, kind of woke him up. She'd lived the life more on the edge than he had realized, and that she is more resilient, clever, and compassionate than he'd understood. And this is the quote. When you've been with someone for more than half your life, he wrote, a sort of an emotional blindness sets in, and all you can do, and you can all too easily lose your sensitivity to their hidden nuances and subtle beauties. It sounds like an emotional blindness. He didn't see you. Is that kind of what it was?
I think, that's so universal in relationships. He didn't see me and I didn't see him, right? Yeah. And so we kind of had to go our separate ways to see each other. Because when you're in a relationship and you're kind of just pulling at that person to be something for you, you refuse to see that.
Your separate way and just kept talking. That nigga went his separate way and was on a vacation. You went separate ways and fucked your son's friend. Like, nah.
And so we had to go our separate ways to really look at ourselves and see the blocks that we had in order to find a way back.
One part that was very sensitive with you, and it was very touching to me that you'd gone through it, but you talked about the idea that you were maybe going to kill yourself. Yeah. That you felt like you were not, your kids would have been better off, Will would have been better off, everyone would have been better off without you. Yeah. What did your kids think when they saw that part of?
What it is she wasn't popping as much as Will, and she couldn't handle it. That's what it was. She couldn't handle that Will was way more popping than she is now. And the way she tried to get clout or get back more popping is to do all this drama, controversial shit. That was her way of getting her notoriety back and get back to where she thought she was popular enough. That's crazy.
Of your story told in that way?
Well, I've talked to them about it. Like,
so they know.
Yeah, they knew. They knew before the interview came out. But I was talking to my mother the other day, and everybody knew that I was very unhappy, but just couldn't figure out why. Because everybody thought how I thought. You've got everything. What is wrong with you? Because I didn't know what was wrong with me either. Because you have to remember, during that time, no one was really talking about mental health. Yeah. And so I didn't understand, and nobody around me understood.
The other thing people asked me was, you talked about how you were at the brink, and then something, you took something and it changed you, and it was ayahuasca for you. Ayahuasca really was...
That was the turning point.
So that in and of itself turned you from on the brink of suicide.
And I never had a suicidal thought again. Now, in saying that, ayahuasca is not for everybody. And I want to be very clear about that. You have to really have someone who's very trained to guide you through that. It was a very extreme situation for me, but I swear I'm so grateful that I went through it, because in 4 days, I had 4 excruciating nights, but on the other side, I never...
And you never had a suicidal thought since then?
Never.
The title of your book is Worthy, and so today as we sit here on this couch...
I feel worthy.
Tell me.
Yeah, I just feel so good. I've been through so much, and... When you can really look at your life, and we think that life is supposed to be perfect, and when life isn't perfect, we feel like, oh, then I'm not worthy, then something's wrong with me, and that's not what it's about. We get challenged with life in order to keep building our self-worth, to keep finding our greatness, and so that's what the book is about. It's about that journey.
If you find another great love, or if Will finds another great love.
There's no finding another great love, and I think that's the point. It's like, we are in a place now.
She just admitted that she never loved... Nah. I ain't gonna act like she said
now that we are in a deep healing space, and we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So it may not be the divorce on paper?
There's no divorce on paper.
I mean, not on paper. There might not be a divorce in theory anymore?
Yeah, no, we really have been working hard.
Oh.
See?
Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
I was trying to think. Wait, I totally missed that on the whole... That's the whole thing.
So wait, just so I'm 100% clear. You were divorced, not on paper, but now we might be at a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard at bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership. Yes, because here's the thing about husband-wife marriage for me, for my healing process. I came into that with very specific ideas, right?
She's so selfish. Marriage is supposed to be about y'all, not just for you. And you see how she flipped that around for me. Listen to what she said.
Hard at bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership. Yes, because here's the thing about husband-wife marriage for me, for my healing process.
Not for both of them, for her.
Came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas that were blocks to me just seeing Will as who he is. He can't be this perfect, idealized husband.
Yes, of course.
I have to be able to accept him for the human that he is. He accepts me for the human that I am, and we want to love each other there.
Okay, so you might live in the same house and have the same...
Yeah.
Okay, well,
that's the only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess what? It is found. We found it today. We found it today. Jada, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. You guys check out the book Worthy. It's got a lot of life lessons in it, beautifully written, and it tells you so much about your life story. So much in here about how you raise your children, your life before there. It's full of richness. So, Jada, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Book's out tomorrow. All right, Mr. Roker, how about a check?
We landed the plane, baby.
We landed it.
What up, nigga?
Realtor.com made apartment hunting so easy.
My favorite part about using Realtor.com are the filters.
You can filter for anything.
I love the 3D tours. It makes it feel like I'm there.
And the view filter.
We're back at Jada Pinkett Smith. All right, we gotta talk Oscars. All right, and what I found so remarkable in the book and the way you take us inside that room, you and Will had been separated for quite a while.
Yeah.
And you were kind of surprised that he invited you to go to the Oscars.
Yeah, we were, at that particular point in time, we were in therapeutic spaces because he had just finished the movie where he played a slave. And a lot of stuff came up for him. And so he was like, will you get back into therapy with me? And I said, absolutely. And we started doing some really deep work. And then he got nominated.
That was the therapy?
Right? And he was like, you know what,
that was the
nobody
therapy.
would rather...
It was red table talk. They ain't go talk to no psychology or nothing. That was red table talk. That's what it was.
Share this moment with. Will you share this moment with me? So I said, yeah, but it wasn't a guarantee. It wasn't a guarantee, but I was happy because I was like, of course I want to share that moment with you. So we decided to go together.
And so from your vantage point, and I think from so many people's vantage points, we were, it was still, for some reason, we were still shooting it was a COVID restrictions. We weren't allowed backstage at the Oscars. So we were here in this very space shooting our show, watching the show on TV.
They had COVID restrictions back when the Oscars? What's going on? Huh? How? What nobody? That's why California weird. Shit is weird.
Like everyone else, and then interviewing all the winners as they came backstage. And when I read the way you saw it, that was the way we saw it here in the studio.
You thought it was a bit. You thought it was like a prank, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't.
Will had been going back and forth backstage.
During commercial, everybody gets up and talks, and you go
and
move
he
around,
was going
right.
back
Yeah.
and forth, and I was like, oh. And when I saw him get up, I was like, oh, did he and Chris decide to do this bit together? And then he goes up, and the whole thing happens, and it looked like Chris slipped the shot, and so I was like, oh, this is definitely a bit, because I've seen Will.
It wasn't a great bit. It wasn't really a great bit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I've seen Will knock out professional fighters.
Sure.
Will is a heavy hitter.
Yeah, right.
And so Chris was still standing.
You see how she trying to minimize it now? I seen Will knock professional fighters out. He didn't really hit. Man, get the fuck out of here. Don't try to minimize that shit now. He didn't really hit him. He slapped that nigga.
There's no blood, there was no swelling, what have you. And I was like, oh, this is a bit. This is a strange bit, but okay.
Right.
He turns around and he comes back. As he's coming back, I'm going, something's off. Something's not right. He
It was
sits down,
you.
And I just look at him. I'm like, are you okay? And it continues
No, she
to go. And
didn't.
it wasn't until his publicist came out and said, Chris has left the building. He's not going to press charges. And I said, well, what would he press charges for? And she said, well, we'll hit him. And I was like, you hit Chris? And I was like,
Oh,
we
wow.
understand now.
No, she don't. Oh, my God. And them bitches and these weak ass motherfuckers on this weak ass show ain't gonna say that's bullshit. He hit him. What? Look at this. Oh.
See, what would he press charges for? And she said, well, we'll hit him. And I was like, you hit Chris?
Nigga. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. She just said that. Wow. I am at a loss for words. It's really that I am at a loss for words. I am at a loss for words right now. For her to say, for what, you hit him? What? Nigga.
And I was like, all right, well, we're in this together now. I didn't come in here as your wife, but I'm leaving as your wife because we're going to have to get through this together.
Yeah. Drew made.
Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I hate it here. I hate it here, bro. I hate it here. Oh, man, I don't know if I can watch no more of this bullshit. I don't know if I can watch no more of this. I don't know. Jesus, I don't know if I can watch no more. Bruh, ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way she said that, bruh. Nigga, get the nigga. Is there anything else I need to watch?